Hey guys, welcome to another spot of the week. Today we are facing an under the gun raise with ace-jack suited, and I go ahead and re-raise, and my opponent calls. Flop is queen-king for rainbow. He checks. I think this is a great board for me. I think we can bet range for small size. I go with quarter pot, and my opponent calls. Turn is an offsuit 8. I go ahead and barrel for 3/4, and my opponent check calls again. River pairs the 8, and so now my question is, would you always bluff a hand like this on the river, or do you think that there are better candidates, and what do you think theory suggests? So in game I thought, well, I'm just going to have queen-king off a bunch, I'm going to have ace-king, going to have pocket queens, my opponent's going to have those hands probably at frequency, but we have a pretty large advantage, and of course pocket aces we have pure, and he's also not going to have those. So yeah, all in all, I thought good situation where we can leverage that by bluffing these type of hands always. So I did indeed shove, and I wondered if it was indeed standard or not. So let's see this flop. So we see that we can indeed just bet range. This solver even suggests like 20%. Well, I bet quarter pot. I don't think that the difference is huge. So as we can see, people might be overcalling flop here a little bit, which is maybe important to notice because we can see that the solver, even against 20%, is already like starting to fold pocket tens, folding 9s, 8s, 7s, all at frequency at least. So yeah, you're not just going to call with every pocket pair here. And other than that, most of the things you see are like pretty standards, continuing a pair and like a gut shot draw, doing a little bit of check raising, but not that much. So turn is an offsuit 8. And we can see that we are barreling quite aggressive here, like a really high frequency barrel. And we see that the checks are pretty standard, like jacks and tens. And like queen X is checking as well. Other than that, basically everything is betting at a very high frequency, especially like the ace-jack, ace-10 suited. Ace-jack off is doing a ton more checking, like it prefers to have certain combinations by the looks of it. So yeah, you want to like unblock, I guess, a couple of folds. So the ace of clubs, jack of hearts, for example, would be a hand that blocks quite a few check folds on the turn, I imagine. So that's not a great hand to barrel. Other than that, yeah, we are barreling quite aggressive, even barreling some ace queens. Interesting to see 9s barreling. So if we take a look at our opponent's folding range, it's just purely a bluff, right? It can get 10s and jacks to fold, and a hand like 6-7 or 5-6 suited to call sometimes. So it has like kind of these mergey effects. Betting a hand like 9s, I think, kind of a cool one to note there. We can see that our opponent's calling range now is just going to be queen X plus, basically, with like a fraction of some other hands, like we said, the 6-7 suited. So river brings another 8 check, and we see that the ace-10, ace-jack is pretty much pure giving up. Like there's a little bit of bluffing going on, but it's definitely not a spot where we're following through with these type of bluffs. Like the only bluffs that we're gonna be using here at like a super high frequency is like 4-5 suited, as well as like 9-10 suited, I guess, and some of the suited ace-x. So question, right? Why not ace-10, ace-jack suited? Let's check and see what our opponent's supposed to do against shove. So we can see that queen-jack suited, queen-10 suited, and ace-queen are a big part of his folding range. So there's going to be pretty much no real hero calls other than a bit of ace-queen, but it's just going to call like king X plus, even folding a bit of king-10, king-jack. So yeah, if like most of your opponent's folding range is going to be queen-jack, queen-10, and ace-queen, then it's probably better to not have a hand like ace-10 suited or ace-jack suited, but you prefer to have a hand lower than that. So yeah, that's definitely the most important lesson here for me as well. Like even in these spots where we have really big advantage, like it comes down to a very narrow range. So unblocking his folding range, unblocking the jack, the 10, is definitely kind of massive here. So I think that you really want to think about that more and just bluff hands like 4-5 suited, 9-10 suited a bit more than a hand like ace-jack, ace-10 suited. So yeah, definitely a bit of a mistake by myself in game. And this time I did get punished and snap called by pocket queens. But yeah, I think good lessons to be learned here, and I'll see you guys next time.